And we're live. This is Mayhem Matthew here at the Voice of College Football on the SEC channel at the Voice of College Football. I just want to go ahead and say thank you, Mark Rogers, for allowing me to come on here and do the UGA live stream and talk about what I think happened in this game. We played UT Martin. I'm gonna let a few people hop on here real quick, and um, if you like this content, smash the thumbs up. If you really like this content, hit the subscribe button. Um, we're here on Mark Rogers' channel, growing his stream. Join the Voice of College Football call-in show at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join the Discord as well and talk college football all the time. Sign up at patreon.com. Make sure you search Mark Rogers. So, and with that being said, go on the main channel, the Voice of College Football, and subscribe to that channel as well. We're trying to build this channel. This is the SEC channel. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. I wanted to make sure a few people was going to hop on, but I'm sure they're going to hop on and talk some college football with me. But the final score of this game was 48-7. This is my initial thoughts before we get into the injury report and we get into the stats and stuff like that. And before we get into your comments that you might have. But my initial thoughts of this is, well, if you didn't know, Mike Bobo was our offensive coordinator. Now you know, right? If you didn't know, now you know. Mike Bobo is the offense coordinator, which we all knew that, but you definitely saw that on the field, especially in the first half of this game. Run, pass, run, pass. Looked a little bit boring. It was definitely a boring first half for sure, to say the least. Offensive line looked really bad. Carson Beck, he did all right in the first half. We had a lot of injuries on the running back side. We had Cash Jones running a lot. And then we had Robinson running, not Branson Robinson, but Roderick Robinson running a lot in the backfield. So, and then Kendall Milton had a good few runs there, but not a whole lot of um, running backs, because a lot of our premier running backs, Dejon Edwards, I didn't see him play. You know, a lot of banged up at the running back position. So, with that being said, here's the injury report for the Bulldogs. Ladd McConkey, wide receiver. He was our leading receiver from last year. Like I said, Dejon Edwards was injured. Kamari Lassiter played, but he had a foot injury. So glad to see Kamari Lassiter get out there and play. Chris Peel, he wasn't dressed out. He had a toe injury. Lawson Lucky didn't play. EJ Lightsey did not play as well. So then were just a couple of people that didn't play for the Dogs. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down in the chat box there. But the final score of this game was 48-7. I wish we would have came out more explosive in this game. Let's read off some stats here. Carson Beck was 21 of 31, 294 yards, and 1 touchdown. Brock Vandegrift got into the second half. He was 2 of 3, 77 yards, and 1 touchdown. He had a bomb down the field to Ra Thomas. He looked really good. Gunnar Stockton, 3 of 5, 29 yards. and no touchdowns. But Gunnar Stockton got in there, late in the fourth quarter. He did a drive or so. He got in the game. Kendall Milton, he had 9 carries for 53 yards, and one 37-yard rush there. Rod Robinson, like I said, had 8 carries for 50 yards. 23 was his longest rush. Gunnar Stockton, he had a really incredible run there. He had 2 carries for 18 yards. I think one of them, the longest was a 14-yard run there. Very fast. Gunnar Stockton's very fast. Also, you had Andrew Paul had 4 carries, 18 yards, for 9 yards. Carson Beck had some moves. He had 3 carries for 12 yards. His longest was a 6-yard run. Cash Jones, 3 carries for 5 yards. And then he had Brock Bowers, 1 carry for 3 yards. So that was the Georgia Bulldogs rushing. I thought, I could be wrong, but maybe that was Gunnar Stockton. But anyways, Georgia Bulldogs receiving. Obviously, Brock Bowers carried the receiving at 5 receptions for 77 yards, and Mikey Muse really surprised me today. He showed up and showed out. 3 receptions for 75 yards. He had a 54-yard run there all the way to the touchdown. Mikey Muse, everybody calls him Jitterbug. He just runs like a jitterbug. So a lot of people call him Jitterbug, Mikey Muse. Watch out for him. He's going to be returning a lot of punts this year as well. I'm looking forward to Mikey Muse playing a lot in a lot of games this year. Mikey Muse is a walk-on, so let's see if he'll get the I think there's one more scholarship available. Let's see. It's going to be between him and Cash Jones for that scholarship, and Mikey Muse might just get it for real. CJ Smith, he had 2 receptions for 57 yards, and I forgot to say Mikey Muse had a touchdown. I don't know if I said that or not, but Ra Thomas had, like I talked about earlier, that 1 reception for 56 yards. Whenever Brock Vandergriff threw that bomb down the field to Ra, that was that 1 reception for 56 yards there. Dylan Bell got in the game with 3 receptions, 32 yards. Dominic Lovett, he had 3 receptions for 25 yards. Cash Jones got in there, four receptions for 25 yards. He had Oscar Delp, 2 receptions, 24 yards. Yazid Haynes, true freshman, he had 1 reception for 20 yards. Cole Spear, 7 yards, and Anthony Evans, which is also a true freshman, he had 2 yard. He had a 2-yard receiving. So as far as the UT Martin goes, UT Martin's quarterback Dent Kincaid Dent. I don't know how to say his name. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but he went 18 to 32, 128 yards, and a touchdown. That was the only touchdown that they had late in the game. And then Cody Sparks back up 0 for 1, no yard. What was that? All right, sorry about that. But UT Martin's receiving. I don't know how to read that guy's name. Asa, 4 receptions, 42 yards. Castleberry, 3 receptions for 25 yards. Sam Franklin, 2 receptions, 18 yards. Trevante Rucker, 3 receptions, 17 yards. Marlon Cook Jr., 1 reception, 9 yards. I ain't going to go through all these, but you get the gist. They only had 128 receiving yards out of all these guys. Our defense played lockdown. The rushing, had the quarterback had 47 yards. Sam Franklin had 46 yards, Castleberry 31. Pretty much locked down on defense, other than that one touchdown that Georgia gave up late in the game when we had our third and fourth strings out there. But I still believe that Georgia has the best defense in the country. I listen. I know this is the very first game, so we have a lot of overreactions. We want to fire Mike Bobo already, and we want to, we want Mike Bobo to get fired and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, um, it's just game one, right? After halftime, we started to open up a little bit with the passing game. I really liked all of our quarterbacks in the passing game. Let's start out with Carson Beck. As far as passing in the pocket, I find him really good, but he is definitely not a runner. Um, he's definitely not a Stetson Bennett whenever it comes to running, right? But as far as passing goes, Carson Beck has a cannon for an arm. I really like Carson Beck and what he can do uh, for for this team and to lead this team to a possible three-peat. Now, this is game one. We played a little bit sloppy. I'm not even going to talk about Georgia three-peating because we did not look apart. Okay, last year Georgia, whenever we played Oregon and we beat them 49-3, we beat a top 10 Oregon team. 49-3 just came out and absolutely slaughtered them. Um, you know, I was ready to say, okay, we're about to two-peat, right? This game came out a little bit sloppy in the first half. Um, Scored 48 points. We got the job done. The game was never in question if we was going to lose or not. That wasn't anything that I was worried about or anything like that. So, um, Georgia clearly did not play their best game. I feel like Georgia's, they came out they came out sluggish. They came out like they didn't want to be there. I don't know what it was, but they definitely didn't look like the Georgia Bulldogs. Whenever you turn on the Georgia Bulldogs, they didn't look like that type of team. I'm not going to sit there and say that Georgia sleptwalked during this game because Georgia's defense showed up, but and they showed out too. I mean, we had a lot of great plays on defense. I really wanted the shutout because we did not play too well on offense in the first half. So I'm gonna be honest, I did want that shutout. So, but can't have every shutout. But um, if you want to join the Discord, all you got to do is sign up at patreon.com and search Mark Rogers. Make sure you're subscribing to the Voice of College Football, the main channel. Just look up the Voice of College Football. It'll pop right up, or you could just search Mark Rogers. It'll pop right on up. If you like this content and you want to see more of me, all you got to do is go to Mayhem Matthew, and I do a lot of content on my channel. I'm gonna keep it real, okay? I'm kind of nervous because I'm doing this on another person's channel. I want it to be a really good show, and this is a big deal for me because Mark Rogers gave me the opportunity to come on here and talk some college football with y'all, and I am a little bit nervous, so I'm gonna just throw that out there, about that. So, with that being said, if you want to follow Mark Rogers on Twitter, follow him on Twitter at MarkRogersTV. Follow him on Instagram at the Voice of College Football, and follow him on Facebook as well at facebook.com/VOCFB. So That's all of that. But my thoughts are my thoughts. Um, Georgia, first, I'm gonna keep on saying it till I'm blue in the face. Georgia didn't come out good, but I think the halftime adjustments were made. I think we started opening up the pass a lot, and that made us really good whenever we did run up the middle. We were able to block better. I think Georgia is gonna is your best performance, your best is between week 1 and week 2. If you didn't play too well this week, you got to get better. Your best improvements are between week 1 and week 2. We're going to see next week how Georgia comes out. I want Georgia to come out, really fast during next week's game. But there's really not much to talk about as far as as UT Martin, right? Um, we scored 48, and we should have scored a lot more, but we didn't, right? I'm not too happy about the performance that Georgia put on today, but what I can say is we won, right? There's some teams out there um, in the SEC that are not winning right now. One team right now is South Carolina Gamecocks, so at least we're not that team, right? And I'm not talking trash or anything like that, but and I know South Carolina's playing a harder team than we are, but you know, um, we're just not losing, right? We won today's game, expected to win next week, and then to get ready for South Carolina Gamecocks, which will be our first SEC opponent at home. So make sure you go support that and sell that crowd out like we did today. We sold out our 65th consecutive game. That is a program school program record. 65 straight sellouts. So make sure to support the Georgia Bulldogs if you want to go to the game, buy the tickets, sell them out, sell them bad boys out. We want to see if we could get to 100 sellouts, right? I don't know if that's possible, but my overreaction for the Georgia Bulldogs would be, well, we need to get better on the offensive line. But I do think once we started passing the ball in the second half, that gave our running game um, a little bit of momentum. They started coming off the lines a little bit so that Georgia could run the ball, right? And whenever you seen that in the second half, what did you see? You started seeing our offensive line blocking better, right? That's what you started seeing. So once that happened, I think Mike Bobo definitely started calling better plays. Now I'm gonna ask the chat this, if you're watching this now or if you're watching it on the replay. I wanted to ask the chat, do you think that there is a controversy at the QB position? Is there QB controversy? And I'm gonna tell you, um, I want to talk about the quarterbacks for a second here. Is there a quarterback controversy? Right? Is there quarterback controversy at the University of Georgia? We seen Carson Beck come out and did not. I mean, he played like a B minus, whatever, right? If I had to grade it. But then in the second half, we seen um, Brock Vandergriff light it up. He's very fast with his legs. And like I said, he threw that really long 55, 56 yard bomb down the field to Ra Thomas, and that was as beautiful as a pass as if I ever seen one. Right? Um, is there going to be a quarterback controversy brewing at the Georgia Bulldogs? Because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if later down the week, people are asking to bench old Carson Beck, and it's not because he didn't play well. I think he played exceptionally well for his very first start in a collegiate game. I think he played well, but it's the fact that um others played well too, right? We already read off the stats there with Brock Vandagriff, 2 of 3, 77 yards with that one long pass that he had. And Gunnar Stockton, he 3 of 5, 29 yards. I mean, he didn't get to play as much. We didn't see as much from Gunnar Stockton, but from my eyes, I mean, I really wanted Brock Vandagriff. I'm like, man, I mean, if Carson Beck keeps on coming out kind of sluggish, or I don't know what it was. I think it was more of the offensive line than Carson Beck was, but um, I just wanted to ask the chat about the quarterback controversy brewing down at Georgia because, in my opinion, I love me some Brock Vandagriff. I like all three of them. I do like Carson Beck. I do like Brock Vandagriff, and I do like Gunnar Stockton. I like all three of them. I think all of them can lead us to success. I do. I really do believe that all three quarterbacks could lead Georgia to success. But I do like a running style quarterback. I do. And we see that in today's football. Even Alabama has a running style quarterback. Last year, Anthony Richardson at Florida, running style quarterback. We're starting to see this running style quarterback, if you will, in today's college football. And Georgia, we had Stetson Bennett last year. He can get out of the pocket and run. I mean, they said he had like a whenever his leg went dead, right? He did like a dead leg play. That's what I would call it. And it stumped a lot of people. In particular in the Mississippi State game last year. A lot of defenders on that Mississippi State defense was talking about it. Like he does something weird with his leg, and it just fakes you out. And I like that about Stetson Bennett, but we're not talking about Stetson Bennett. We're talking about this year, right? And I don't think that Carson Beck can do that. I do think he has shown flashes of running plays, running ability, flashes, but overall, he's just not a mobile quarterback. He's just not. He's more of a in the pocket guy. He can scramble a little bit, but if you need him, if it's 3rd down and 8, and he needs and nobody's open and he needs to get a first down, can he get it? That's the question, right? Can he get it? I know for a fact that Brock Vandagriff can. Um, you know, can we install a 2 quarterback system at Georgia? I don't think that's what we're going to do because Kirby Smart has already answered a similar question to that about starting 2 quarterbacks. And he said it's just not a recipe for success. You need to have one quarterback and stick with that quarterback. And I think, Georgia is going to stick to that quarterback in Carson Beck for the whole year unless tragedy happens. But we all expected today. You know, we all expected Georgia to win 48-7. Um, I'm gonna say this again. Join the Voice of College Football call-in show at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join the Discord and talk college football all the time. Sign up at patreon.com, search Mark Rogers. But I'm glad that I was able to do this stream today. There's nobody watching, but it's okay. That is perfectly fine with me, you know, but please, if you're watching the replay, um, hit the like button. And if you really like this content, hit the subscribe button. And if you like my content, I have a channel called Mayhem Matthew. Just check it out. Trying to grow, trying to get to 400 subscribers. I'm taking it 100 by 100. So we're going to get to that 400 subscriber count, and we're gonna keep on making content every single day and trying to push out content. And I'm going to do my best to push out content for the Voice of College Football. Whenever I come on here and do the post games, this is my very first post game. This is my very first one. So if you don't like this content, if you think I'm boring, or if you think whatever you're thinking, like, okay, he's not that good at it, he's nervous, whatever. This is my very first one. This is my very first post game thing at the Voice of College Football. Make sure, if you do like this content, just leave a like button, and I will get better as time goes along, right? And especially, if you get into the chat room, um, and have different conversations with us. Ask me questions that I can talk about. Um, yeah, we'll definitely chop it up, and there'll be more better live streams than this. Remember, guys, this is UT Martin. This is a game that Georgia should have taken care of. We did beat them 48-7. Reminds me of a score last year, a game I went to, South Carolina Gamecocks. Last year we beat 48-7, and I know I keep on taking small jabs at South Carolina because, well, South Carolina's coming up in a couple of weeks, guys. I'm not going to, punch down on a Ball State team. I'm not going to be talking trash about a Ball State team. We got to get ready. And for the South Carolina Gamecocks, Ball State is going to be just another practice game, getting ready to go home and play the South Kakalaki Gamecocks there. And since this is the SEC at the Voice of College Football, let's check on our good friends at South Carolina. Right now, they are getting humiliated, 31-14. South Carolina is not looking good at all, it seems like. But if y'all are interested in the update in that game, that's the update in that game. As far as Alabama goes, we can look up Alabama, see what they're looking like, what the score is over there. (49-7), with about 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So there's your SEC kind of updates there around the SEC. This is the SEC at the Voice of College Football. So, but we are, pretty much talking about the Georgia versus UT Martin. I wish I had a little bit more for y'all guys, but I mean, there's not much to say. There's nobody really in the comments. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to post a comment. Tell me, if I'm doing good, if I'm doing bad, or if you thought the Georgia Bulldogs did good or bad, or whatever you want to do in the comments section. I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. And if you have any comments or concerns, I'll read them and then I'll react to them. It's just simple as that. So with that being said, Georgia 48, UT Martin 7. UT Martin, I will say this about UT Martin, right? Now that I'm thinking about this. UT Martin, before the game, they have said that UT Martin is hard to run up the middle on, right? And it seems like Bobo was just like, I'm going to run up the middle on you. You're UT Martin. And well, in the first half, UT Martin definitely dominated that lines of scrimmage. And then Bobo in the second half said, "Okay, okay, guys, okay, UT Martin, y'all have it, y'all got it. Y'all are a hard team to run up the middle on." And well, that's exactly what happened. UT Martin did not let Georgia absolutely run up the middle on them. So, anyways, guys, I understand nobody's really watching, but um, if y'all want to subscribe to the Voice of College Football, the main channel, and join that main channel's call-in show at 11:30 p.m. Join the Discord and talk college football, not just whenever they go live, but the Discord is all the time. The Discord's all the time. Yes, it is. Sign up at patreon.com, search Mark Rogers. It'll pop right on up. And if you like my content, Mayhem Matthew is my channel. Mayhem Matthew is the channel to go to. Subscribe to Mayhem Matthew. If you like my content, I have a lot of content posted on my channel. Go check it out. Yep, right there. Mayhem Matthew on YouTube. So if you like my content, if you like the content that I'm putting out, go ahead and check it out. Mayhem Matthew on YouTube. It'll pop right on up. At Mayhem Matthew is the handle. And just go ahead and look that up on YouTube if you want more content that I put out. But as far as the UT Martin game goes, I really don't have much else to say. UGA was not going to lose this game. This game was never in question on if we were going to lose. Um, Kirby Smart chewed them out at halftime, chewed out Mike Bobo. That first half, at the end of the first half, I mean, that was a horrible call. First down and goal, and you run Cash Jones up the middle. I mean, he's really short and he's not a built back, right? I love Cash Jones. I think he's really good, but he's not your typical run up the middle back, right? And you're trying to score a touchdown and you have no timeouts, 20 seconds to go, and then you throw a bad pass to a wide open Arian Smith. Um, that just can't happen, guys. That blender. It seems like Kirby Smart. I can go back to last year. Georgia played Mississippi State, and right before halftime, what did we do? We threw some god awful passes behind the line of scrimmage, and then we ended up running a couple times, and it just did that whole entire. It seemed like I don't know what we were doing, but we ended up having to punt the ball. And guess what? Guess what happened? Guess what? Oh, I'll tell you what happened. You probably already know what happened if you're watching this video. Yeah, Mississippi State goes and grabs the ball and returns the ball all the way down for a touchdown. We gave up a touchdown in the last 5 or 6 seconds of the half in that Mississippi State game, and it reminded me. It reminded me about that. Um, what's up, Jackson Johnson? Hey, Jackson Johnson, give me a question. Shoot me a question. Um, I'm all ears. To anybody that wants to ask me a question. Jackson Johnson, I am Mayhem Matthew. If you search up Mayhem Matthew on YouTube, I am on the road to 400 subscribers. So please subscribe to my channel if you want to. And if you love the Bulldogs, you'll subscribe to Mayhem Matthew because I'm a Bulldogs fan. And so I want to know, Jackson Johnson, I want to know your thoughts on this Georgia Bulldogs UT Martin game. Do you want to fire Mike Bobo? Do you want to, see the offense play a little bit differently? I mean, what do you think about the defense? I think we have the best the best safeties we've ever had. I think our defense is lights out. I was kind of like I said earlier in the stream, I was kind of disappointed Georgia did not shut them out. Right, I was kind of surprised that you know, they gave up I know they gave up the 7 with third and fourth strings, but I was really hoping for the shutout. You know, you got to always make something better whenever your offensive line and your offense kind of played a little bit terrible in the first half. So I did want the shutout to make it look better than it did in the first half and kind of clean it up there. Um, He said, so far, I don't think Georgia should have hired Mike Bobo. Ryan Grubb was the better option, especially from what I saw from Washington over Boise State. Remember, Washington. I know this ain't a Washington stream, but since you mentioned it, Washington has a quarterback that is Heisman material. He has experience. He has 2 wide receivers on that Washington team that are elite. I think in my way too early playoff scenario, I have Washington going to the playoffs as well as I do Georgia. But Mike Bobo, I thought it was a good. Me personally, I thought Mike Bobo was a good hire. I'm not going to write Mike Bobo off just yet because he did show us in the second half that he can call better plays than just run, pass. That same old Mike Bobo style play calling. And in the second half, he opened it up. And what happens whenever you open up the plays? Whenever you open up like that, it lets the defense come off of the line a little bit, and then you're able to run, you're able to block better, you're able to do things like that. So um you know I think Bobo was um the safe hire. How about that? Because um you know I'm sure Ryan Grubb would have done good at Georgia, but I think the safe hire for Georgia was Mike Bobo. I'm not ready to say fire Bobo just yet. I'll just be honest with you. I need to see more games than just this. This was a first half blender. It was a lot of running plays. I guess he wanted to establish the run, and I guess the thought was, Mike Bobo wanted to let people know that he's not scared, even though they have a lot of running back injuries. Dejon Edwards, I know Kendall Milton played. I understand Kendall Milton played the game, but he was still not 100%. You had Branson Robinson out for the year. You have, that Tennessee, Laneith Whitehead, he's injured, right? You have a lot of injuries at the running back position. So you ended up with Roderick Robinson and Cash Jones. And obviously Milton played a little bit too, but he wanted to establish the run. He wanted to say, I'm not scared. Even if we have banged up running backs, I'm not scared to run it down your throat. And that's what I was talking about earlier. With that being said, earlier I was talking about how UT Martin was saying before the game that you can't run on UT Martin. You can't run up the middle on this UT Martin team. And it seemed like Mike Bobo was like, I'm going to run it up the middle on you. You tell me I can't do it. Yes, I can. I got the players to do it. And then it didn't look good. It looked boring. I felt like I was watching a boring game in the first half. Second half, he opened up a little bit of the passing game, and I loved every single one of the quarterbacks. I have no problems with the quarterbacks. If I had to pick a quarterback based off of this one game, I understand college football ain't based off of just one game. It's based off of multiple practices and off-season prep and all this stuff. And I would say that Brock Vandagriff is my guy, right? I love Brock Vandagriff. I like how he can use his legs. I like how he can pass the ball. he has an arm. So yeah, so Jackson Johnson says, although I am loving the passing yard numbers from Beck. Yeah, I think Carson Beck is a great quarterback. I think he don't have enough um he don't really show a lot of mobileness to him. I mean, he's not a Jake Fromm, but he's not no Stetson Bennett either, right? Somewhere in the middle between both of them. But um, I appreciate Jackson Johnson you coming on here and chopping it up with me. I really appreciate that. So, but if you like the content and you like what I'm doing, go on Mayhem Matthew on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. I'm on my way to 400 subscribers. Watch a couple of my videos. If you like it, then subscribe. But if you don't like it, just hit the like button on this video and my other videos as well. I would love to take your comments, questions, or concerns that you have on this UGA team. So I'll just wait to see if anybody comments for a few minutes. But join the Voice of College Football call-in show at 11:30 p.m. Join the Discord and talk college football, not just sometimes, not just whenever he goes live, but all the time. Sign up at patreon.com, search Mark Rogers, and it'll pop right on up. Subscribe to the main channel, The Voice of College Football, and subscribe to the SEC at The Voice of College Football, which you are watching right now. So, preparing for next week, I think Georgia needs to get better, especially at the lines, at the offensive lines of scrimmage. Defense is just playing lights out. Um, I love the defense. I love the defensive line. I love our linebackers. I love the safeties. I just love everything about the defense, right? You know, so with that being said, if y'all don't have any more questions, comments, or concerns, I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down. But yeah, let me know how I did in the comment sections. And if I did a good job, let Mark Rogers know. And if you really like this content, smash the thumbs up. And if you really like this content, hit the subscribe button. My name is Mayhem Matthew. If you want to go find me, search Mayhem Matthew on YouTube. I'll pop right on up. At Mayhem Matthew is the handle. So love all y'all. Go dogs. And hopefully we can do this next week. Go dogs.